Hello and welcome back to Mini Discoveries. We are experiencing a new phenomenon in the studio beyond getting spiked by this plant. It's the sun. The sun has returned to us. It was foretold and it has happened. So, smiles all round. With the sun brings a rather unusual sensation of warmth. I know. Ugh, weird. So the sun, on all its warmth, has brought out bees, and that's what this episode will be about, telling you what species to look out for. So the first species that I spotted were honeybees out there on a plant called winter honeysuckle. Really early flowering shrubby thing that's growing in from the neighbour's house. Beautiful scent, and it's drawn all sorts of insects to it. Well, by all sorts of insects, I mean honeybees. Honeybees come in a few different forms, but the ones I'm seeing are largely a dull brown colour. Honeybees are perfectly suited to take advantage of sudden spells of warm weather because they're not hibernating, they're in their hive and kind of active throughout the winter because they've got a food supply. So as soon as the weather is good, they can pop out and start foraging. And there's certainly been a lot of interest on the winter honeysuckle with up to 6 bees at a time. The winter honeysuckle has also allowed me to see my next species of bee, which is the buff-tailed bumblebee, Bombus terrestris. Go on, say it again, Bombus terrestris. It's crying out to be shouted from the rooftops. I think I've spent too much time indoors. Pretty much all the bumblebees you're going to be seeing at the moment will be large, lumbering, furry creatures, and they will be queen bumblebees. These are queens that will have mated the previous year, last year, and gone away and hibernated or gone into diapause, sort of shutdown mode, over winter, and it's the warm weather that brings them out into the sun. Bumblebee queens at this time of year have several priorities. First, to get some sips of nectar, keep their energy levels up. Next, they will be looking for new nest sites to found a bumblebee colony. So you might see them skirting quite low to the ground and occasionally disappearing into nooks and crannies and coming out unsatisfied. Quite picky requirements. Once a suitable nest site has been found, they will collect some pollen, mix it with a bit of nectar to make what's known as bee bread, lay their eggs into that, put that in the nest ready and waiting. They will also make themselves a little kind of Holy Grail thimble style cup of nectar, which will be their supply of food. There's a bumblebee trying to get in right now. This is everything we trained for, people. It's gone. Yes, and then the queen will sit on the bee bread containing the eggs, incubate it, buzzing those flight muscles, keep it at the right temperature, and having a sip of nectar to get her energy going, to keep alive until the eggs hatch out. Once the eggs have hatched into grubs, the queen will then go out and keep foraging for pollen and nectar, for feeding, but eventually, when those first generation of grubs have pupated into adults, Bumblebee's still there, I'm not getting distracted, it's trying to barge its way in. Once that first generation of grubs has pupated into adults, that's it for the queen's foraging trips outside. She can lay back, put up her feet, all 6 of them, or tarsi, I suppose I should call them, and relax and let the worker bumblebees, who are all female, do the rest of, well, everything. The third species of bee that I've seen is also a bumblebee, was also a queen, and this is the tree bumblebee. A relatively recent addition to the UK, you can recognise the tree bumblebee by its ginger-coloured thorax, black abdomen, and then white tail or tip to it. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. I urge you to go out on some socially distant walks, go looking for bees, look on pretty much any flowering plant you can find. Although I've seen most of the stuff on the honeysuckle, out and about, I've seen them on crocuses, snowdrops, other stuff. Just haven't managed to get the camera up quick enough. So yeah, good luck, stay safe, and goodbye.